Okay guys, I decided to do this little video to try and muster up a bit of enthusiasm for Arma, and we're going to look at the Onsung mod here. This is the new interface for Arma Apex, and it's got an all new 3D Eden editor. So we're going to look at the island through the eyes of the editor, because it's very easy to place units, and we make a little scenario and we can change the weather conditions and so on. So let's select the island there. We can see there's a couple of islands here. I'm going to pick the Dug Island because it's pretty much all jungle, with some marshes and creeks and rivers in it, and a few villages. So we can see the overview of the island there. Not too big, and the centre portion of it is tropical jungle, and we're going to go into that when we build our little scenario. And we can also see there's some nice flat terrain here, not good for very much, in fact very exposed, and they simulate the old rice paddy fields. So let's just let's move over to this village, move in, and let's lay down a couple of units. We can do this on the right hand side. You can see all the units are lined up there on the different factions and the different editor options. So I'm going to choose, you can see the factions are listed out there, and they're all determined by the particular mod. These are all the traditional ones, so they look pretty much out of place in this villagey 60s environment. So we're going to choose the Onsung Special Forces group, and we're going to click a Special Forces Covert team. And we're going to put down, I'm going to demonstrate the virtual ammo system by putting in an ammo box down here, and this can be anything. I'm just going to select it from here. Supplies, ammo, and I want to pick out something because I'm not sure there's anything in Onsung specifically, so I'm going to pick out something that's appropriate for the time. Let's go up here. You can see it's very handy to just navigate through the items and find them, and I'm just going to put it down here beside them. You can also change your groups around, spin them around like that, do the normal editor functions. And I'm going to right click and look at the attributes here, and I'm going to turn this into a virtual ammo crate. Any object can be turned into an ammo crate by just adding this simple line. Now let's have a look at the ammo crate and how it works. So we move over to it and select it from the action menu, and now we can see our guy, and our guy now can be loaded out using this interface. You can see there's a whole pile of hotspots for all the different classes that are on him, and we look at the first one. We look at the rifle. You can see the current rifle class is the M3A1 grease gun. You can see why it's called grease gun, and you can see all the objects down here. Now it can be sorted, normally it's sorted alphabetically, but we shouldn't sort it by mod, so that means that the items we pick out are appropriate for the mod we're using, because we don't want obviously modern weapons in this. You can see there's a whole pile of these new weapons for our old weapons for this Onsung mod. So there's lots of potential fun there, depending on what weapon you want to choose. So we're going to choose a different weapon here, because when we select a weapon here, there's subclasses or attachments that can go on the weapon, and they're under these classifications here, and we can select them and pick one of each of those classes to add on to the weapon. So if we go and pick the, let's say the M16, we can see under the sights subclasses, we can see there's 3 scopes we could put on. So it's very easy to equip our weapon with these sights, and There's other items there. If we go down through the list, you can see rail attachments, so we could put a bayonet on there. I'm going to leave a bayonet on, and we could have a suppressor if we want. So I'm going to leave the bayonet on. I'm going to obviously take that side off because it's it's huge. Now let's look at the backpack, because this is where we've got to put our carry-all items. Well, there's 3 places we can put the carry items. It can be in the uniform, which takes a small amount, the vest takes a medium amount, and the backpack takes a large amount. So let's look at the backpack, because they all work the same. And you can see at the moment that the slider on the bottom is all blank, so it indicates there's nothing being carried. So now if we wish to take the 30 mag tracers, you can see as we add them in, it builds up there. And you can see the selection of items which can be added into the backpack are listed out here. So if we go up to the next section, we can see we can take a whole pile of things here if we want to. So we could carry ammo belts for the machine gunner, for instance, if we wanted to do that here. We're going to take some grenades, and typical of the period are M61 and M67s, and these are always good for the forest because there's not much visibility in the forest. So grenades are your friend. They're even better than your magazines where you can't see your enemy. Similarly, we're going to take on some smoke grenades, hand-thrown smoke grenades. And once again, these are good if you want to get out of the area, or if you want to protect somebody who's being healed. Important to take a few of these. So move on down, we can see depending on your objectives for the mission, there's explosive devices you can take along with you, and finally there's medical equipment. And the medikit is probably the best item, but it pretty much takes up the full backpack almost, and it's something that should be used by the medic. You can take some field dressings, and depending on how the mission is set up, for respawn, or not respawn but revive, sometimes the field dressings will do. So everybody needs to take a few of the field dressings and it will revive them, although it's only the medikit that will fully heal them. In that case you may need a medic. And over here you can see all the different rucksacks and backpacks you can take, and under the different mods. But there's a ton of them in there for the Unsung mod. And all the other items along here can be selected. You don't have to select them from the guy. You can select them from over here. Things like glasses, night visions, and so on. Maps, radios, and the lot, and even launchers. I'm just going to quickly have a look at the helmets there, and we go back to the top of the Unsung list here, and you can see by selecting it over there and scrolling down with the up and down key, you can quickly check out what it is you want them to be equipped with. You can also save it here by giving it a name, and it'll save your configuration, so when you come back into this again in another mission, you can load up the gear you've got already. And while I'm there, I'm going to change over this. I'm going to add in a flare gun, flare pistol, and I'm going to load in some flares. Now we have to load in some flares into our backpack or our belt or our vest. Not much space in the vest, a bit more space in the backpack, so I'll do it in the backpack. So we go over here and we can see we have flares, white flares, so we're going to put 12 of them on. Now the only problem with this is I'm going to save this just as test. The only problem with this is the guy doesn't get launched, the mission doesn't get launched with this item, with these items on, and I'm going to show you how to change that. If we go back to the editor, so we go back to the editor here, and we select the guy, right click, and we can go edit loadout. So we can see that's our original loadout there, and I want to change the handgun option because I want him to be loaded with a flare pistol. So you can see the flare pistol is chosen, and if I select his backpack, I can now load on some flares. Press OK to that. I don't have to save it obviously there, but once again you can, and you can use pre-configured loadouts for mission making as well. I'm going to make a little scenario here to demonstrate the wooded area as we go through them, and I'm going to go into our 2D map by pressing the M key, and that little triangle gives an indication of how high we are and how much area we're looking over from the 3D view, and it can be kind of moved, so I'm going to move it around. It's going to rotate it here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in some enemy units down here. And I'm going to put some Viet Cong rifle squad in here. I'm going to take a few of them out because they are a strong force and they're got a much better advantage over us, because we're going to put us in a boat. So I'm going to give them limited speed. Keep them standing up, and I'm going to give them some waypoints. And the waypoint system now is very handy because you can just select a move order here, and by holding the control key we can give them sequential steps. I'll move them in a little bit. And we can have a look at what they look like down here. Once again, the models are done very well. Just move them back a little bit from the water, from the forest. Now look at them again. Okay, so you can see they're nicely done, and we could play as one of these if we wished. So they're going to head off now, and we're going to go back to where we are located. I'm going to put in a small boat. Click the objects again, unsung. Yeah, let's look at NATO Pacific boats. Yeah, rescue boats. We're going to put in one of these boats here. And when I put it down, you can see the objects come up over on the left hand side here. And so if I select the boat, I can rotate it. I can even have a look at it. Okay, so that's not going to be any good because it's sitting on the land, and we don't need this guy in it because we won't be able to drive it ourselves, so we can take him out and remove him. So let's now look at the scenario. I'm probably going to get killed very quickly, but I also want to demonstrate how the guys now shoot from vehicles, and there are a couple of positions on the boat where you can shoot from. not everybody has it. But let's have a quick run through of this. And we're in daylight here. And bright sunshine. So let's have a quick look now. Okay. Okay, gonna wait for our guys to get in. And then we're gonna head south. And we're probably gonna get slaughtered on the boat here. You get some idea now of the forest terrain, which is modelled and looks absolutely gorgeous. So you can see the shadowing effects. As you can tell, I'm using track IR here to great effect. Now there's the enemies over on the left hand side there. I'm going to disembark. You can see while you can't see enemies very easily, there's a lot of cover. Sometimes that doesn't help a lot. As you can see, I didn't last very long. Okay, and we've had a grenade, an incoming grenade, which is pretty much taking out our squad. So I'm going to look now at the night time, and I'm going to move our guys from there and into the forest on the opposite bank. Now I know these guys are coming around here, so let's move our guys in here, and I'm going to change it to a dark scenario. So let's pick a time which is dark. Not dark enough. Okay, that's good. So let's look at this scenario now, and let's look at how the flares and the lighting in this is absolutely spectacular, and this is really atmospheric. So the idea is, and everybody brings flares along, and each one can let them up. Now there is a flashlight option which allows you to maneuver in the short range, and the benefit of being in the dark, if you can maneuver to where you're going, is the enemy can't see you, easily. Now there's actually very little visibility here, but I'm going to change over my weapon to the flare weapon, and we're going to be heading south, so I'm going to point myself south and point the gun as far up in the sky as I can, and I'm going to shoot it. And any second now the sky will start lighting up a little bit, so we'll have some visibility. Change back to my weapon. Okay, so now we're starting to move in the forest. So we're heading south, so you can see gradually the forest is lighting up, and you can see even a flickering effect of the flare, and isn't that magic? As it falls down, it lights that area up, and you can see it's pretty much. Now the problem here is we're highlighted as much as the enemy is, so what I really wanted to do was to put the flare up on the other side. That flare is nearly gone out, so you have to kind of keep the light going. There they are on the other side now, so I'm going to try and light them up over there, and hopefully our flare will go out so we have visibility on them. They've started to engage us now. I'm going to stay in cover for the moment till this flare goes out. Oh, they're starting to move. Okay. So they have difficulty seeing us, and we probably have difficulty seeing them. Going to try another flare. That flare was, the first one was too far over. Okay, this looks a bit better. Okay, a good nade might help here now.
I'm scared. I don't want to die. Quickly, get away!
So we got bit of visibility on them now. Yeah, they're shooting back. Ooh, guy on that side.
Damn! That was close!
One of my guys down. Okay, let's pop smoke and disengage from. I don't have any, so I didn't load up, I don't have any smoke grenades, which I should have. So let's just move away. Just going to pop up another flare. And we're going to move north. So you can see the potential for this mod and the mission types that you can do, and it's absolutely spectacular, particularly evening or night missions using flares and no night vision and no fancy stuff. Back to basics. So hopefully you enjoyed this quick look, and hopefully we can get some missions going. And as I said, along with the dynamic recon mission generator for 6 players and less, this map is absolutely spectacular. So thanks for watching. Any comments, leave them in the thread. Thanks, bye.